Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. People, my friends, look, I'm just trying to make you a little money. My job is not just to entertain, but sometimes to beseech you and certainly to educate you. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC. Tweet me at Jim Cramer. Sometimes I just get steamed. I mean, really upset with my job and with myself. I get angry because I can't convince people to avoid making mistakes with their stocks. Very specific mistakes that have historically kept you out of enormous gains. So tonight, with the Dow gaining 72 points, S&P advancing 0.32%, NASDAQ climbing 0.53%, what a market. I want to talk my book. Yeah, I mean, actually, how to make money in any market, which comes out at the end of next month. Because it is in large part about what happened to the stock of Nvidia and friends over the last 24 hours. See, my thesis is simple. Good things actually do happen to growth stocks. They do. You got to accept that. You got to own it. And you have to trust the market itself. Because if you do, you've been able to make a ton of money in the past, not just with the S&P 500, but with individual stocks. If you don't trust stocks, you miss out on enormous gains by trading in and out, like everybody seems to tell you. Constantly buying high and selling low.
They know nothing.
That, not investing, is the real sucker's game. How many of you would have made millions of dollars had you not been talked out of owning quality stocks? Oh, I bet there are a lot of hands just shot out there steamed. Which brings me to the greatest stock that I've ever laid eyes on. My best pick ever, Nvidia, and its wondrous CEO, Jensen Huang. First, let's zoom out. Nvidia nominally makes semiconductors. What it really does is make devices full of hardware and software that allow for really fast computing, powering programs that can answer questions rapidly, and will eventually, most importantly, be able to reason, actual long thinking and problem solving. Read last night's conference call. You know what I'm talking about. Now, the uses are myriad. You can build factories much better than you do now. You can create robots. You can power autonomous driving. You can infer purchases. You can design everything from advertisements to drugs. You can stop crime. You can save fortunes. You can change the world. Think of NVIDIA's platform as part of a thinking factory where you input thoughts and outcomes answers. Who knows what that is worth? Right now, we know you can go to ChatGPT or any Perplexity, I don't care, you go Grok, and ask it all sorts of questions. Terrific, right? Like who's on the cover of People magazine this week? Really fabulous. It'll come up with answers. It'll summarize things. Read a lot of different papers, not some that are up behind the paywall, but it'll give you a lot of stuff pretty quickly. It can even write code for you. Wondrous in itself, I guess. Sometimes the chatbots are wrong. Too often, actually. How wrong? Maybe so wrong that an outfit like Apple doesn't even yet want to trust generative AI to be worth anything to their customer base. Maybe so wrong it can recreate documents, but it can't explain what's actually in there, so it can't tell what's wrong. You know what, though? This is why this is such a big deal. This is why I'm trying to teach this stuff to you tonight. That's about to change. Top of mind example. Let me give you an example because it's in the news. Everyone's talking about it. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, okay? She's suing President Trump to prevent him from firing her. She's working with what's called a high-powered lawyer on the case. High-powered lawyers, what do? They cost a lot of money. One of the reasons they do is that they bill by the hour. You end up paying a fortune for their myriad associates to look up lots of different cases and laws to help lead the attorney the right way. Right now, NVIDIA-powered artificial intelligence isn't all that much help to a law firm. But within the next iteration, though, the machine will think and will reason and probably do a better job than the associates at understanding the case law and knowing the precedents. You can keep an associate or two around as opposed to, say, the 30 or 40 that you can just let go. You know why? Because they won't know as much about the law and the cases as the machine that's powered by NVIDIA's next generation Vera Rubin. Vera Rubin chips will know more than all the associates combined. So how big could this market for genuine thinking machines be? I don't know. According to Jensen, it's $3 or $4 trillion in 4 years. NVIDIA could triple its revenues from these new chips. I don't want to sell a stock of a company that's reinventing the very concept of work. I don't want to stand in the way of a revolution led by Jensen Huang. I want to be skeptical, but not cynical, and certainly not, as I see so many people here, nihilistic. Now let's zoom back. Okay, our job, meaning your and mine and all the other people interested in stocks, is supposed to be finding the ones that can go up a great deal, making us the most money. That's what this is about. It's not an exercise. This is not a classroom. It's an exercise in how to make money. I think the market that Nvidia dominates is the biggest in the world. If Nvidia were a software company like Microsoft or Google, we'd be comfortable with paying double the $4.3 trillion that the business is currently valued at. Why? Because we've been trained to pay up for software stocks, especially enterprise software. It's okay. We pay outrageous prices to earnings multiple for them. We're thrilled with that. But we have a much harder time thinking about Nvidia that way because it's a semiconductor company. I say get over it. There have been times when the oils were the biggest companies out there, times when Apple was the biggest because it had an iPhone. The opportunity for Nvidia, I think, is in many ways more enormous than any of those. It's certainly worth $4.4 trillion. But if the company executes as it has, then its valuation could double from the $4.4 trillion it trades at right now. And I wouldn't mind paying that price. All right, so 4.3. What do you want me to do here? I wouldn't mind paying that price. I say get over the mental steeplechase. You will make much more money if you do. You may not have heard it said like this, but last night, Nvidia reported one of the most amazing quarters ever, with more than 50% growth. All I heard, decelerating growth, what planet are these people on? Decelerating growth. What are they thinking? The quarter was insane. And it was done during a period where they weren't even allowed to sell into the second largest market on earth, China. You heard about that enough times. Some were upset with their growth and sold the stock, even though tomorrow the president could arrange for Nvidia to sell its chips in China, take a 15% cut for Treasury, part of a prearranged deal, and Nvidia would be up, what, 10 to 15 points? CEO Jensen Huang and CFO Colette Kress, who really runs the call, know better than to speculate about when this could happen. But the freak out about it was nuts. There were other people who said that demand for Blackwell, the current AI chip, was slowing. I don't know. I don't even know how this stuff happens. Still, others say that NVIDIA's customers don't see the value and don't want as many chips as they used to. Well, yeah, maybe the stupid ones. See, there's no evidence of that whatsoever either. You know, maybe I'm making it up. Maybe this morning I got up and said, you know what, we're not going to do that. I'm going to tell a lot of lies, get a lot of people out of NVIDIA. No. I don't want to do that. That's not my job. My job is to help you try to make some money. But the skeptics, they're more powerful than I am. They sound so smart. They probably went to better schools Friday. No, maybe not. Who can tell anymore? They will you to sell the stock. That's their job. They see it. Get these people out of NVIDIA, the greatest performing stock of my lifetime. It has not made many people, people should have made millions off this darn stock, but no, they were talked out of it by people who come on and say, sell. The skeptics have been too powerful. They never stop scaring people away. They are your worst portfolio nightmare. Unfortunately, I am helpless against these people. I am a TV journalist and former hedge fund manager who spotted this stock when it was $2. But do you think I have any gravitas with these negativists? The only reason I got any traction with this company is because 8 years ago I renamed my dog Nvidia. Well, isn't that saying something? The skeptics always prevail. Well, almost. Which is very odd today when you thought that in NVIDIA's orbit, Broadcom was up, Amazon was up, Microsoft was up, Alphabet, they were all humming. Which brings me to the greatest oddity of all. Do you know that because of the skepticism about NVIDIA, especially the corrosive pessimism about the market in general, NVIDIA stock now sells for a cheaper price to earnings multiple than the average stock in the S&P 500? People just don't believe in the coming AI revolution, and they don't believe that NVIDIA, formerly a simple gaming company, can lead it. They believe it can't possibly be worth what it's selling for. Me? Look, when Jensen Huang and his team, when have they ever led me astray? Why the endless skepticism and defeatism about this company? Why? Why? Why does it deserve such cynicism? No, why does it deserve such opprobrium? So here's the bottom line. If you can't fathom NVIDIA, or you are thinking that it's all too good to be true, or that your host has lost his critical faculties and is doing some magical thinking, then feel free to sell this wondrous stock. But if you trust Jensen and agree with the person who's been right as rain on this one, as opposed to the critics, then you should own, not trade, the stock of NVIDIA, even from here, because I think you can still make a lot of money investing in this fabulous company and its remarkable, visionary leader. Todd in California. Todd.
Hello, Mr. Cramer. Thank you and Sean from your team for all the great work.
They're great. Our team is good. Congratulations, Ben Stoto. I'm going out to see him get married. He works on the show. He's the research director. He's a dynamite guy. And I like the fiance too. I know. I kind of introduced them each other in a peripheral way. What's happening?
I had called in a couple of weeks ago to ask you about some healthcare stocks that had gone down so much due to policy uncertainty and federal investigations. At the time, you had said wait until after they reported. And now that they've all reported, and as the company with the least exposure to Medicare Advantage of all the managed health care stocks, what do you feel about Cigna.
I'm going to take a big monster pass on Cigna and suggest that you pull down some CVS. Yes. Because I think the old consumer value stores, by the way, I think CVS is crushing it. And I think this guy, David Joyner, mi casa, su casa, David Joyner. What does that really mean? It sounds good. Okay, now listen. If you trust what Jensen is saying, and I don't know why you shouldn't, then you should own Nvidia and not trade it. Because I still think it can make you a lot of money. On Mad Money tonight, CrowdStrike soared today after the street changed its tune on the cybersecurity leaders from last night when the bozos sold it down because they didn't know what to do. I don't know why they sold it down. I don't know. I mean, they went to college to get stupid. That's why. All right, I'm sitting down with the company's CEO to see how the company's positioning itself for the second half. Then Axon has given up most of the gains after reporting another solid quarter earlier this month. Maybe it's setting up for a real buying opportunity. I've got the company's best. And Gap is trading lower after the bell. What's that about? Hey, maybe tariffs? I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it no matter what. So I need you to stick with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.